We're so glad to be with Leadership Bits and Bytes again, and I am curious what got you moving forward to begin Aim to Inspire.
Aim to Inspire, I started Aim to Inspire just because I seen a gap out here in the community. I seen that we needed some programs to get that middle, when you graduate from high school or the transition program, it wasn't anything out there for when they're done. And so I want to create something to grab that middle age group, that 18 to maybe 38, and give a cool place to come hang out and learn skills. So that's what really made me grab that middle age group, giving them something to look forward to, something to do, and to pour into them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was some of that born out of your own experience and maybe others that you know?
Actually, later on, I found out it was born out of my own experience. Okay. God has a funny way of connecting your story, looping it all back around. Yes. And so I worked for a program that serviced 18 to 26. And I seen that it wasn't anything too much out there. And so I had families asking me to work with their young adults on the side. Okay. And I started working with young people on the side and pouring into them and teaching them skills and things like that. And I really just did it temporarily, and it was just a season of my life. And it was just that small, still voice. Sure. God told me what I did temporarily to take it full circle. Wow. And I did just that. And I said, okay, guys, this is the will you have for my life. I need you to provide the retail, the clients, and I just began to put my petition before God, and He has done just that, sustained us this far. And so it's a whole story that goes with that, but that's kind of how I started. And then as I began to work Aim to Inspire, it got a name. And I began to pour skills into young people because we have a disability doesn't mean we can't learn skills, right? Correct. And so I'm more than my disability. That's why I empower them. I'm more than my disability. And so teaching them, I can do this. I can create. I can be involved. So giving them something to look forward to. And so I love creating events for them to look forward to. I love giving them a cool place, a lounge, because other people have things they get to go to, right? We have things we get to look forward to. And so they deserve that too. And so that lounge give them that place they can go hang out at and a cool place to hang out at and feel comfortable, a welcome environment where they can just be themselves. And so there's a whole tier to that as well. So.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
How fun. We are with Angela Sims, who is the founder of Aim to Inspire. And I'm curious, how did you come up with that name?
Actually, I told my colleagues, when you think of me, write down some names. And they wrote down multiple names throughout the building. And I just picked through the names and put it together, Aim to Inspire.
I love it.
And so, and that's what I want to do. I want them to be inspired to be the best version, whatever that may look like for each person, be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And so I find that key to making them feel good, however that may look like for an individual person, whether they're learning to pour soap into a container. It may be a small task for us. That's a big deed for someone else to be able to go around throughout the building and fill up soap containers. I did that. And so you did do that. Give me fist bump. And so I inspired them to be the best version. And so someone said, inspire. You always inspire someone to be better or to do something, to challenge them. So that's kind of how the name came about. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And then how are you identifying the skill sets that they need? Is there an assessment that you do at first?
So every family I interview.
Okay.
Not just the parent, but the child as well, whether it's a youth or adult I want to interview, and what are the goals? Let's talk about goals. And so it looks different for each person. And so I kind of work on, we set the goals together, the family. So this is a partnership, right? And so what do you want to learn to do? So listening to them, what do you want to do? And so I have a young lady that wanted to work at a daycare. And so I have been praying, God, where can I place her? Where can I place her? And I have a person I attend church with that has a daycare, and I reached out. And so I just have my worker to take her daily, and she began to learn those skills, and she feels so good about that. So listen to them, what they want to do. And her mom didn't think that was possible, but her young lady goes to work at the daycare to learn those hands-on skills 3 times a week. And you know, and she's so excited, and she's happy, and she tried to put on her lipstick. I gotta put on my lipstick for work. And so seeing them, I gotta make sure my hair is together. And so they get so excited to get out and learn those hands-on skills. And so listening to what they want to do, but also listening to the parents as well. Let's come up with these goals together, and let's see if we can package it. And so hearing your heart, what do you want to do? And some may not want to do anything but be engaged, be around community, because they feel so excluded so many times. So giving them a place to come hang out at, whether you're doing arts and crafts, you may not be to the skill level that you can get out in the community, or that may not be your goal. Learning some life skills may be the goal. And so working on life skills, and so that whole unit there. And so it just looks different for each person.
It sounds like you're helping people take whatever that next step is in their journey.
Yes, and that's what we want to do. Each step looks different for each person.
And that must give them a sense of confidence and joy about their purpose, their ability to contribute.
That means I'm doing it right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we all have a purpose. We may not know what it is, but we all been on this earth to walk in our purpose. Whether we tap into it or not, that we may not, we may will, but we all have a purpose. So I want them to reach whatever skill level and fulfill that purpose in life.
That's incredible. So do you have a team that works with you?
I do. So I have 2 staff. Well, I have 3 staff now. I have 3 staff, and then I have 2 subs, so 5. And so I have tons of volunteers. Without my volunteers and the staff that I have, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And so I'm so thankful to have a reliable staff that's been with me since Aim to Inspire have started. And so I'm so thankful for that. But the volunteers, and then my parents, that plays a huge role too. Because they think they come to drop off their young adult, right? A lot of times they end up staying sometimes too. And so Aim to Inspire has become an island, because when you go to school, a lot of times you're dropped off on a bus. And parents are left to feel alone. Now with Aim to Inspire, you have to provide your own transportation. And so parents end up integrating with one another and planning play dates and stuff like that that their youngins never had when they was younger. And so many levels have came out of Aim to Inspire. So we continue to inspire in different areas, in different ways, and creating that outlet for families as a whole. So.
It sounds like you're creating a sense of community
That's what it
people, as they're coming together and realizing they're not the only ones who are walking through this kind of a journey and facing challenges.
You're not alone. You're not alone. And then it also, I always tell people, I did an event, and I said, I live with an unseen disability, and people are so surprised when they hear that. And I share that story. I didn't always share it freely, but I learned to God show me that I need to be vulnerable enough to be able to share my story. And so I think that helps parents to also feel vulnerable enough to share their struggles and what they're dealing with as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're often in such a hurry that we don't take time to listen to those stories, and yet they're so powerful and inspiring for all of us.
Right.
It doesn't matter what your background is or what your challenges in life are. We all have some kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
And recognizing that we can all have community, we can all be a person with purpose.
Right.
It's got to be so inspiring to many, many people.
Yeah. I love to see reactions on people's face when I share that, you know. I kind of talk about that in my book, Master Keys. I wrote a book called Master Keys. Not only I share my story as living with an unseen disability, but I also share some keys that parents that navigating someone in their life, have a child or a family member that has a disability, some valuable resources, not just what my textbooks have taught me, but living with an unseen disability and been in this field for over 30 plus years as well. So,
yeah. So, Master Keys, where could someone find that?
So, Master Keys is on Amazon.
Okay.
I continue to get the seal bestseller, so I'm so thankful for that.
Awesome.
But yeah, you can get it on Amazon. And right now, I think my husband put it out on another site as well, but
okay.
But right now you can get it on Amazon. Then I also have some on hand too, as well. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. What would be maybe one tip that you would give to a parent of a child who maybe is experiencing some of those challenges, or to a young adult who is trying to find their way through that journey?
First off, we tell parents, you gotta hold them accountable. Don't make a difference. A lot of times they feel bad because they have a child with a disability. And so it's not your fault. This is how God created them. This is who they are. So I always say, accept your child. So as soon as you can accept it, you can learn to navigate this. You can learn to navigate it together. And so don't make a difference. Treat them just like you would treat your other kids. And so that's so important, because if we overdo it, make them handicapped even more, we're doing them a disadvantage. And so that's so important, not to treat them as though they can't. Yeah.
I like that. And I'm sure, especially as you think about instead focusing on ways to find how you can.
That's it right there. Yeah. Let's see what we can do. Yeah. And so don't focus on what I can't do. Let's see what we can do. Let's find something. It's something that person can do. Yeah. It may look different for each person, but we all can do something.
That's right.
That finger is no bigger than the pointer finger. And so they all play an important part. So.
That's right. I'm curious, kind of shifting a little bit to talk about leadership. How is that premise of thinking about what we can do, how has that helped you to get through the challenges of starting a new organization? And there's a lot of challenge there doing that. I'm curious how that's helped.
It is a lot of challenges out there. First of all, you just have to do it. We can be our own hindrance. We just have to do it. And for me, for Aim to Inspire, God gave me Aim to Inspire. It wasn't anything that I said, I'm going to start an organization. I didn't. And so I know it won't fail. But moving forward, I began to put my foot to the gravel and began to work Aim to Inspire. And I had to realize that community is important. I can't do it alone, but we can do it together. And so now don't wait till it's perfect. You keep working what you have. Keep going. Keep putting one foot before the other. Show up every day.
I love that. I think so often we wait for that perfect time to start.
And it's not going to come.
And there is no perfect time. You keep thinking, if I only had this, then I could go ahead and do it. And you do. You have to just start What are maybe one or two things that you've learned along the way that you would share if you were talking to a young leader today?
Build connections. Connections are so important. People look for funding and things like that. But if you build connections, your community,
yes,
I think that's so much more important. Building those connections and that community. And I didn't do that in the beginning.
How do you continue to inspire your volunteers and the people on your team? Because I'm sure that they, like most of us, have days where it's challenging and things aren't going the way that you would hope. And how do you continue to help them stay inspired?
Showing up every day, even if I don't feel like it, I show up every day. Yeah, but also asking God for direction.
It's inspiring to all of us to really consider how we can inspire others, how we can open those doors of opportunity as well. And so just love that. Again, Angela Sims with Aim to Inspire. How could we get in touch with you if we want to learn more about what you do?
Okay, so our website is aimtoinspiregr.org.
Okay.
You can email me at aimtoinspire2022@gmail.com. You can always call me if you ever need any print work. That's another arm we have created right inside of Aim to Inspire. Someone with a disability will create your product, and so if you ever need any t-shirts or cups or family reunion items, created t-shirts, cruise t-shirts, you can always reach out to Aim to Inspire because we do those right there in-house.
Oh, wow. So, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Angela Sims with Aim to Inspire, and I am just so glad that you're with us and you continue to inspire so many people in the community.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.